So, our first story time special, we heard about Jotham's 8th grade shootout, then my MLB road trip, and then last week, we ventured into the NFL. So, I think it's only right that I tell my unique NBA interaction. But this story, again, is story time number 4. And Jotham, I am looking forward to it.
So you use the I word, interaction. That's how you know something crazy happened.
And
Oh boy.
again, it is very unique. It's similar to my MLB story where I talked to Jay Bruce. So if that hints at anything,
Okay, let me see what this is about because this sounds like it's going to be a marathon.
yeah. Okay, so obviously I'm a big Pistons fan, and we both live in Illinois near Chicago.
Uh-huh.
So for Christmas 2018, I believe, I got tickets to go to the Pistons and Bulls game in March. I think it's March 8th, 2019. So I got these tickets in December of 2018, so a little bit before the game. And my mom got me 2 tickets so I could take a friend. Um, so these tickets, they were nice. They they were pretty nice. They were a few rows behind the actual basket. So,
Oh, I was 2 years shy.
dude, I know I you were, but the craziest part about these seats were that we were, I would say 9 rows from the actual court. So we were sitting behind the basket. We weren't sitting courtside. If we sat courtside, I probably would have gone crazy because that would be awesome.
Wow.
But I got these tickets. I took a friend. My friend's name was David, and so we went to the Bulls game. And normally, when I like to go to a Bulls game, I have the printed out ticket and I have a pen because you never know. We were sitting close, so
Hmm.
the tunnel was to the left of us, and I was like, maybe we'll get a signature from someone. And so we got to uh the United Center. We got to our section. We went down a few rows, and then right when we got there, we saw Andre Drummond. I think Reggie Jackson just putting up shots so close to us. And when I tell you, Andre Drummond is a large human being in real life, he is a large human being. I was very shocked because when you see these almost 7 footers on the screen, you're like, okay, they don't look too big, but in real life, they are giants. And I was I was really surprised. I probably shouldn't have been, but it was cool seeing them up
Oh
close.
my gosh.
So we watched them warm up, and then I think we were near someone who was talking to a security guard, and they were asking if Blake Griffin had come out and practiced yet, and the security guard replied like, "Yeah, he was out here 2 hours before the game, so probably no signature from Blake Griffin, who is probably my second favorite player behind Andre Drummond. So I think it would have been cool to get that Blake Griffin autograph, obviously, because he's been one of the best players in the NBA for almost 10 years.
Mhm.
So unfortunately, probably wouldn't have been able to get that signature because he was already out 2 hours earlier. But the Andre Drummond signature was still in play.
Wow.
This is where it gets interesting. So Andre Drummond and Reggie Jackson, they both got done with um their warm ups on court. So
Hmm.
my friend David and I, we went over to the tunnel, and Reggie Jackson comes literally right next to us. He goes right next to us, and obviously he went right next to us because the fan had a Reggie Jackson jersey. And unfortunately, I think that's the only way he signs because right after he saw that Reggie Jackson jersey, he decided I'm not signing anymore and then left. So we did not get the Reggie Jackson signature, but Andre Drummond came running down. I don't think he signed on our side. He went to the opposite side, so we did not get the Andre Drummond signature. We almost got a high five though, so that was
Wow.
cool, I guess. But we 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 also noticed that someone was coming out of the tunnel. Guess who this player was?
Hmm. It wasn't Drummond, was it?
It was not Drummond. Drummond had left, But this one's gonna blow your mind. This one is probably you would have never thought about this player. Zaza Pachulia came down the tunnel, and Zaza started signing right next to us, bro. And one thing, the reason that he actually he didn't I'm sorry, he did not sign because he needed a pen. And remember
Oh,
earlier in the story,
oh my,
I said that I brought a pen for this reason
bro,
exactly.
are you kidding me?
Dude, I was looking at David. I was like, Zaza's right next to us. Actually, Zaza was not next to us. He was standing in front of us. And when I tell you, I had never been like more shook in my life. Zaza Pachulia, who has had beef with Russell Westbrook, and even stepped over him. So I was like, Zaza is known for being kind of a scary guy. He stared me right in my eyes and said, "I'm gonna take this pen," and he stole my pen.
What?
Dude, Zaza Pachulia stole my pen.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! That is a plot twist because I thought you were gonna be like, "Hey Zaza, I got a pen."
No,
Oh no!
he said, I'm gonna take this, and I was like, what do I say? No, I mean it's Zaza. You might beat me up. So I obviously was like, okay, here, sure, take it. And then he eventually ended up signing David and I's ticket. So we got a signature by Zaza Pachulia, but also the best part was that he stole my pen.
Oh my gosh!
So that's definitely the unique interaction for sure. Sasa Pachulia. I had never experienced that before, especially because Sasa, like, he has been known to be pretty aggressive on the court. He's always gotten to beefs and people like trash talking him because he's always very aggressive. So I was like, go ahead, take my pen. I'm not gonna stop you.
Wow!
That is not, I mean, that probably is the best part of this story, but I will talk about the game as well because it was a great game.
Oh yeah!
So we were sitting pretty close, and after we got that signature, we sat down and we saw that the Pistons announcers were actually starting up their broadcast, and I was like, they're right there. I wonder if they can see us on TV. So a few days later, I went back and watched the game, and David and I were actually on TV. So for all you YouTube listeners, I will actually put in a video right here that shows us on TV. Pretty cool. Also, I'll put in some pictures as well throughout my story time. But yeah, David and I ended up being on the Pistons broadcast. Pretty cool.
Oh,
Uh, we were in the background. I was on my phone because I didn't expect to be on, but it's pretty cool. We were there for a few seconds. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But back to the game. The game honestly started off extremely slow. The Pistons, they did not look great. Honestly, they were down six at the end of the first quarter. It was 24-30. So I was like, okay, the game is still in play. The Pistons can still make a run. And then they did not play well in the rest of the half because at the end of the half, they were down 49-66.
yee.
So I was like, okay, here we go again. Because this is the year the Pistons made the playoffs, and if you watch the Pistons, they were a streaky team. Streaky meaning bad and good. Because the Pistons, they had 33 wins, which was the most that they had won in the past few years. And obviously they made the playoffs, but they also had 31 losses. I think they got to the playoffs actually at 500. But they were just very streaky. Some games they would be dominating the team that they were facing, and then another game they would be losing all the way till like 5 minutes left in the fourth. So I was like, okay, the Pistons, they were known for their comebacks that year, made the playoffs. So I was like, I mean, potentially they could pull this game off, but this is where the Pistons actually did what I told them to do because they outscored the Bulls 63-38 in the second half, and that implies that they won. But uh, Blake Griffin, Blake Griffin was the star of the Pistons in 2018-2019 season, and he played fantastic. Honestly, he was the best Pistons player. He dropped 50 against the 76ers earlier in the season,
Hmm.
but he also was injury prone. We saw it in
Yeah.
the playoffs that he had that meniscus. I think it was a meniscus tear as well. He played in the playoffs, but in the third quarter, I believe the report said that he felt a pinch in his knee, and he actually came out of the game in the third quarter. So it was basically left up to Andre Drummond, who finished with 20 points and 24 rebounds. So he went off.
Whoa.
Um, so it was basically Andre Drummond versus Zach LaVine, who was, I'm gonna be honest, he was crazy to watch. He was especially up close. He was crazy to watch up close. He would always fly by the rim, and actually one of the coolest parts about sitting up close, you could almost hear everything they were saying. So
Hmm.
there were definitely some words that would have had to been bleeped out.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, we could hear everything they said, but also Andre Drummond, big rebound guy. Every time he would grab the rebound, he would always smack the ball with the other hand that was not on the ball. So every time he'd get the rebound, you could hear him smack the ball like this. So it was that was very interesting too, because you don't expect like rebounds to make that much of a sound. But
Wow.
yeah, we saw Andre Drummond and Zach LaVine go back and forth, but Blake actually came back in the fourth quarter and scored 16 of his 27 points in the fourth quarter. So he
What?
went off, and that propelled the Pistons to score 43 points in the fourth quarter.
Wow. You don't hear that too often.
No, 43-24 in the fourth quarter. And that eventually that pushed the Pistons to the win. Um, it was just really cool sitting up close, obviously meeting Zaza and him stealing my pen, which which is still crazy. But I just remember sitting there, and the fans were pretty funny too. I remember this Bulls fan sitting behind us. He was like, Zach LaVine, make this free throw for the kids. Um,
Oh.
Zach LaVine missed a free throw,
Oh my
and he said,
gosh.
I guess you don't like the kids." I just there's a lot of funny stuff that happened. Obviously, it's kind of hard to describe a game that it was so long ago.
For
I
you.
another funny moment. Andre Drummond, not a known three-point shooter. I got this on video too. I'll put it in the YouTube video right now. So, what Andre Drummond did? There was like 5 seconds left in the shot clock. Andre Drummond
No way.
decided to take a James Harden step back in the corner, and he shot it. It was up. It was up. It was up, and it hit behind the backboard. He missed so bad he didn't even hit near the rim. I'd never been disappointed, and I saw Andre Drummond pull, and I was like, three. I stood up. I said three, and then I sat down because that was nowhere near a three, and I was probably embarrassed to be a Pistons fan at that time. Um, I had never seen a worse miss from Andre Drummond, and I it was all right because I wouldn't say. I mean, it was cool because he dropped a 2020 game. I kind of miss Andre in a Pistons uniform, but it's all right. Um, we saw there are so many exciting moments. I remember Blake Griffin towards the end of the game threw down a tomahawk dunk right in front of us. That was crazy. And I was talking to David throughout the game. I was like, "Do you think we're ever going to see a poster? I'd love to see a Blake Griffin poster." And I think it was Robin Lopez under the rim, and smartly enough, Robin Lopez decided to get out of the way when Blake Griffin was coming down the paint,
Whoa.
because he definitely threw that one down. And seeing Blake Griffin dunk in person was fantastic.
Whoa. Oh yeah. That's a show right there.
Yeah, I mean Blake Griffin, one of the best dunkers, and I would you say history? I feel like it's debatable.
Yeah, the best, one of the best in-game posterizers in
Dude,
NBA history.
him and DeAndre Jordan were something to watch on those Showtime Clippers.
Oh, oh my gosh. The fact that they didn't even get to the Western Conference Finals, that still irks me to this day.
Yeah, they were so good all around. They had Austin Rivers. They had, I mean, I'm saying Austin Rivers like he's on the level of Blake Griffin, but Blake Griffin, CP3, DeAndre Jordan. That was a fun team to watch. Other than the fact that they would not show up in the playoffs.
And then Jamal Crawford and Lou Will.
Oh yeah, dude. That was when I mean Lou Will's still going off as a six man, but that was when we figured out that he was fantastic as coming off the bench.
Oh, oh my gosh, dude. I don't know what it is about the Clippers and bench players, but man, gotta give Doctor
I
props.
yeah, I gotta say we're getting off topic here, but I think they won that trade with Houston. They got Montrez, they got Pat Bev. I feel like they won that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But I do have a question about the game.
Yeah,
What was it like walking off the court after that win?
it was really cool because I really wanted to see like the Pistons shower Andre Drummond with like Gatorades and stuff. But we saw the players go into the locker room. They were all excited. We kept on seeing like Thon Maker on the bench dancing, and it was just really cool. After the game, all the players walked off, and we sat there for a little bit watching the floor, and it was it was definitely a really cool experience to be sitting that close. I hope that both of us could at some point sit that close, whether it be for our career or for fun. I don't know. I would love to sit that close again. It was a lot of fun.
We had a preview back in January. We watched HF versus Marion Catholic for a little bit. It was a little preview. Could be a
Dude, yeah, we sat courtside.
yeah, like I'm talking feet on the hardwood.
Yeah, and yeah, we I will put a picture again for our YouTube viewers of where we sat for our high school game. But yeah, that we definitely need to get courtside. I want to sit courtside. I think that would be really cool.
Oh my gosh, dude. Having my feet on the hardwood is just special enough for me.
Dude, yeah, I mean, even you might get even bulldozed by LeBron. Remember that one year where he ran into that fan, and then the fan had to get like taken off the floor because he tried to dive for a ball that was already probably a little too far into the crowd.
Gosh. Oh my, LeBron's had some very interesting crowd moments the past few years later on in his career. Very interesting.
I think the funniest thing that I've seen where a player was about to dive into the stands was Shaq while he was on the Suns. So
I
there
remember
was
that.
a ball. You remember?
I remember
There
that.
was a there was a ball going towards the team bench, and they saw Shaq running over for it, and the entire bench ran almost into the tunnel because they were not about to get flattened by Shaq.
I remember that so vividly. They literally opened a lane for that man. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I would not want to get like basically tackled by an NBA player while sitting courtside. I think it'd be funny though.
That would have been so hilarious if he would have landed on some. Oh, if he would have landed on somebody, that person is done for. Oh my
But
god.
yeah, that was pretty short story time. There wasn't really much to it other than that Zaza Pachulia stole my pen. But yeah, I enjoy the game. I definitely hope to get back in uh the stadium watching games again, being part of the fan environment because right now it's not looking too good for the future.
Yeah, man. I basically got robbed, but yeah, at least you got your experiences in. Yeah.
Hey, hey, you got another story to tell about yours.
Yeah, I do have a story to tell next week, but it's not about a fan perspective. It's about the commentator perspective.
That definitely should be very interesting to listen to because I'm sure not many of our fans have actually broadcast the game. So
Yeah,
I feel like that will be very exciting.
not at 16.
No, not a 16 either.
Yeah.
dude, I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But good story time, man. Good story. Pistons Bulls, good game. Yeah.
Thanks. Whenever I title this, I just know that the main premise was that Zaza stole my pen. That will forever be the class. And I mean I did get a signature, still hanging up on my wall. But Zaza stole my pen. Thank you, Zaza. I will never forget that. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy, again, leave a like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. And yeah, it's been Story Time Special number 4, presented to you by Top of the Standings. Andrew Jotham. Thank you guys for listening. And we're out. And